today.
Christmas is known for the fact that the big, expensive movies open up, and it's the big movie time. Matt Atchity, this is his busy season from Rotten Tomatoes, is with us today. You're getting applause beforehand.
Hope you had a great Christmas.
Yeah. I did, actually. I did have a nice Christmas.
Did you watch the movie?
I watched Doctor Who last night on TV.
Okay.
Oh, I wanted to see that. I ran twice. I didn't see it last night. I heard it was pretty good.
Yeah,
right?
It was pretty good.
Right.
It was pretty good. I'm a big fan of that show.
Okay.
And Ian McKellen does a voice in it.
Does a voice in a doctor who's trapped up in space and he doesn't want to come out. But nobody knows what we're talking about unless you're a Doctor Who fan. Okay, here we go. Now, some movies don't really need you at all.
Right. Les Mis is one of those.
They don't care what you say, but go ahead.
So Les Mis is obviously a movie version of the very popular Broadway musical. Got a great cast here: Hugh Jackman, Anne Hathaway, Russell Crowe. Kind of an innovation that was done in the filming of this. They actually recorded all of the singers.
They actually were singing when you see them sing.
Yes.
Which never happens in
movies.
Well,
they don't do that anymore. That's the way they used to do musicals to begin with.
Now they record
don't do that anymore.
8 weeks later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you get real performances here. You get very impressive performances. I would say that it doesn't necessarily serve Russell Crowe that well. He's, his singing's okay, but when you put him next to Hugh Jackman or Anne Hathaway, it doesn't sound so great. I was impressed with this movie in spite of myself. I went into this not wanting to see it. I was really impressed with the beginning of this movie.
You're not a musical guy.
What did you think of Amanda Seyfried in the movie?
I thought she was all right. She's hardly in the movie compared to anyone else. She's not in a lot of it. But the critics mostly like it, 72%. A lot of them say that it's very bombastic, very overwrought. Those are the negative comments. A lot of the people who are fans of this are going to really like that.
It's over the top, and if you love it, it's just right.
But you know what? It's a spectacle. It's an old-fashioned movie spectacle, and I think people who are looking forward to this are really going to like it.
Django Unchained, very controversial, and because of the use of the N-word.
Probably more uses of that than all of the rest of Tarantino's movies combined.
Now, I heard the violence is pretty tamed until the very end.
Until the very end, yes. Okay. It's once, it's a story of a guy played by Jamie Foxx who starts out as a slave, ends up freed and working as a bounty hunter with Christoph Waltz, who is fantastic in this movie.
What is he not fantastic in? He's amazing.
Really great in this. They end up at this plantation run by or owned by Leonardo DiCaprio, and that's when it starts to get really gruesome. Now, up until then, it's not so bad.
We had one of the stars from the movie on here, Dennis Christopher. He said this is really more about an epic love story.
Yes, it kind of is, because really it's the story about Django, played by Jamie Foxx, who helps out Christoph Waltz so that he can get his wife back, who's been sold to a different plantation.
Who's Kerry Washington.
Kerry Washington.
She's worth fighting for.
Yeah, she's worth fighting for.
Yeah.
I would say that this is one of the best things I've seen Leo DiCaprio do in a long time.
Bad guy? Does he play a bad guy?
He does play a bad guy, which is unusual for him. Sam Jackson is also fantastic in this.
Okay.
Well, that's an automatic, right?
Well, yeah, but it's different than we normally see him
There's some controversy with the fact that there's the Mandingo fight where slaves fight each other for the enjoyment of the slave owners, etc., which apparently is historically inaccurate.
I will say this is a very lurid and often politically incorrect movie.
Well, it's Tarantino.
But it's Tarantino.
And Spike Lee has boycotted his films because of the use of N-word. And apparently in this movie,
there's a lot of it.
It's about every other word.
All right, so Billy Crystal and Bette Midler get together to make a movie, and it looks like nobody liked it.
Parental Guidance.
18% on the tomato meter. That's
that
pretty
really
rough.
low.
That's a lot of critics that say this movie's not very good. They play old school parents who have really type A children, one of which is played by Marissa Tomei. They get the grandkids, a lot of clashing in parental styles. It's kind of predictable and not as funny as it should be. It should be a lot funnier. You've got Billy Crystal, you've got Bette Midler, you've got Marissa Tomei, all of which who can be hysterical.
Yes.
The jokes don't work that well.
So you're saying they're handicapped by the material?
Yeah, that's what. That's really kind of what happens here.
And the movie I saw, Zero Dark 30.
What did you think?
Amazing.
Zero Dark 30 is a heck of a movie. Yeah, I really like this movie. 93% on the tomato meter. Most of the critics say that it's really great. This is, of course, the story about the hunt for and assassination of Osama bin Laden. I'm sorry.
Obama said Laden.
You're right, Osama bin Laden. This is a really exciting movie. Now, it comes off a little bit like a police procedural at the beginning of it. And then when they, as they get closer and closer to finding where Bin Laden is, then they go on the mission. Then you see the SEAL team go on the mission, and it gets really exciting. I like this a lot.
Bigelow has such a magical way of actually taking you to that region. I felt like I was breathing in the dust. I felt like I was sweltering in the desert heat. Aside from the controversy, cinematography-wise, I thought it was
the controversy
really cool.
being the torture scenes are ramped up and not true.
Most of the negative reviews, what few there are, say that the movie, they claim that the movie kind of endorses the torture scenes in that, nobody.
And some, I don't mean film critics, but critics.
Senator John
said
McCain.
it's not true.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's. I mean, if you're looking for a fictional, if you're looking for any movie for a look at what history is like, you're looking in the wrong place.
But
read a book.
Do people read a book, or do they go to the movie?
Nah, that's the problem.
Okay, all right. You can catch Matt on Rotten Tomatoes Radio. You got applause again.
Ah, there you go.
It's on Tuesdays at 4 and Thursdays at 3 on Sirius XM Radio. Coming up, Kevin Smith. Have you seen Kevin yet?
I saw him go to
You could almost be brothers.
almost.
I don't know if he'd like that, but okay. All right.
He's a much smarter man than I.
Okay, we'll
He
be
could
back.
be
Stay tuned.
Silent Bob. I'm sad that you said about Russell Crowe because, he said he hosted the sing-alongs at
The hottest entertainment news is